Greetings, family. This is Eric Soderberg with the Soderberg School coming to you on National Network View. We're here today to talk about how your network is your net worth. So I made up some homemade slides today to walk us through this lesson because we have a movement that's going on right now throughout the country, and it's a movement of collaborative economics. So a lot of people get misinformation about collaborative economics, and I just wanted to just kind of get some things straight so that we can move forward and start building or continuing to build this momentum. So my first slide today is your network is your net worth. So if you could see that, your network is your net worth. So a lot of people say it, you see it on social media, it's almost becoming a cliche. So I wanted to demonstrate how your network, meaning your circle, the people that are in your life that you're connected with, how those individuals become your net worth. We have so many of us that are interested in becoming entrepreneurs, and so many of us that are interested in investing in real estate. But as individuals, we may not always have that initial capital or that initial equity to put into a project to help realize our dream. This is when your net worth is your network becomes a reality, because as entrepreneurs, I believe in a philosophy called broadcast and collide. We have a lot of people that talk about when we're an entrepreneur, let's move in silence, and let's not let other people know what we're doing. And I wholeheartedly disagree with that mentality. I think as an entrepreneur, and I know for a fact, the more you put out into the universe what you're doing and how your business is being structured and how you're seeking to raise money for your business or seeking to look for other potential human resources for your business, cash resources for your business, then that network that you build as you're broadcasting your intention with your business becomes more and more valuable to help you realize your business goals or your business dreams. So we're going to go through some terms today in regards to collaborative economics and how to build your net worth from your network. And now I know a lot of people are investing in SUSUs. This has absolutely nothing to do with SUSUs. I personally do not invest in SUSUs. I caution against the SUSUs or those group investing models that are based on a pyramid structure. This is old school investment advice from someone who has raised capital, someone that is a current real estate investor, a entrepreneur, and I teach entrepreneur training here in Chicago, Illinois for startups as well as existing businesses. And we do this all through the Soderberg School. So on our homemade slide, if you can see that, our terms today, our first term is collaborative economics. So what is collaborative economics? Collaborative economics to me is when you get a group of like-minded people, and the key word in this is like-minded people that want to achieve an economic goal together as a group. And the way that they achieve that economic goal together is through building their capital stack or building those resources, or the second term, raising capital. So this group of individuals raises capital. So the example that we're going to use today is if these individuals in this collaborative economics model want to purchase a piece of real estate for, let's say, $50,000. You want to buy a building, the building costs $50,000. Normally, when you apply for a loan for a building, most commercial loans look for 20% down or greater. So your initial capital ask, aside from the actual total amount of $50,000, would be the amount of equity that you would have to raise, or that down payment that you would have to raise collectively or collaboratively through your group would be 20% of that $50,000. So we have it right here. So our capital raising capital, 20% of $50,000 is $10,000. So let's look at it from a group perspective that our target amount is $10,000 that we seek to raise. That's our down payment or your downstroke, however you want to phrase it, on that $50,000 purchase. So your end loan, keep in mind, is going to be you're going to finance $40,000. Your group is going to raise $10,000. You're financing with a bank or another source $40,000. This is if you could not raise the entire $50,000 amongst your network. Your network is your net worth. The second part of this is that equity injection. So the equity injection, again, relates back to the whole concept of collaborative economics. Those of us that have either invested in other businesses in the past or potentially have bought real estate on our own, we know that it is not an easy path. We know that doing it alone can oftentimes become more difficult as the project becomes more complex. When you can share that risk, when you can share the risk of busting out, meaning going out of business or filing bankruptcy, with other people that are in your network, this alleviates that level of risk because you have other people, not just to pull on financially, to rely on their resources from a financial perspective, but you have their intellectual capital that you can rely on as well. So you have financial capital and you have intellectual capital to rely on when you're doing a collaborative economics model and building a business or purchasing real estate. And then the last part, or the last definition that we're going to go through today, is capacity. So capacity or lack thereof, or lack of capacity. So when we speak about capacity, the capacity relates back to how much liquid cash do the individuals in your network or in your collaborative group have access to. And when I say liquid cash, I mean money that you can afford to lose. So not money that you're going to pay your rent with, not money that you're going to pay your mortgage with, or your car note with, or your children's tuition with. This is money. I want to be explicit in this as possible. This is money that you can afford to lose. So how much is that? And this is an honest conversation that you have to have with those in your network so that you can know and learn and be comfortable with, and not just comfortable, but be confident in the capacity of your network. Now let's repeat that. Let's say that together. The capacity of your network. You have to know and be confident in the capacity of your network. So we're going to go through a brief example that I put together today because this is my first time on National Network View, and I'm super excited. And thank you, family, for having me on. And I hopefully they'll have me back. I'm scheduled to be back on Fridays, every Friday at 1 o'clock. So I will definitely have some great information and some great lessons for you to help those of you on an entrepreneurial journey make the best of it, to have the best journey possible. That is my goal and my commitment to you. So when we talk about capacity building in this collaborative economic model, we have one of my homemade slides. So we have 5 people. So this circle, this is your network. We have 5 people in your network. So when we talk about the 5 people in your network, we have Whitney, we have Steve, we have Carl, we have Lenore, and we have Lisa. So you have what we call crucial conversations with the people in your network to determine what their capacity is. Now, some of you may not be comfortable in having these crucial conversations, but if you're an entrepreneur, one of the first things that I teach at the Soderberg School is that you can have no shame in your game. So let's repeat that together. I have no shame in my game. So of course you don't want to be inappropriate when you ask these questions, but you have to have these honest conversations if you're looking for support and you're looking to raise capital. So you approach Whitney, for example, and you say, Whitney, I'm interested in purchasing a building. The asking price on this building, or the agreed to contract price on this building, is $50,000. Whitney, I need to raise $10,000 so that I can purchase this building for $50,000. Whitney tells you, hey, you know what? I have $2,000 in liquid cash that I can afford to lose. So what you're going to do now is you're going to do what we call a capacity test. So you're going to do a diagram like this, or a napkin, or if you're super sophisticated, you have a spreadsheet. So you're going to put next to Whitney that Whitney has given you a soft pledge of $2,000. Awesome. You're going to go to Steve. That's your next target or your next prospect. You're going to go to Steve and say, Steve, I have a property under contract, $50,000. Do you have any capacity to become an investor or a partner in this project? I'm employing collaborative economics to help take this project down. Steve says, you know what? At this time, I don't have any liquid cash. I don't have any money that I can afford to lose. So what you do next to Steve, you put a 0. So Steve has a lack of capacity. Whitney has capacity. Steve has a lack of capacity. Now we're going to go to Carl. Carl says, you know what? Same story as Steve. I have no liquid cash that I can afford to lose right now. That's not a problem. No problem, Carl. I'll come back and holler at you later. $0 goes next to Carl. We come to Lenore. Say, Lenore, Sister Lenore, I have this property under contract. I'm trying to take it down. I'm trying to raise the equity for it. Need some capital. Do you have $2,000 that you can afford to lose? Lenore says, you know what? I got $2,000 that I can afford to lose. I may have a little more if you need it, but let me know. But for right now, I'll give you a soft commitment for $2,000. Awesome. So on your capacity test, you put 2,000 next to Lenore. Then you go to Lisa. Lisa's the 5th person in your circle. Now I want you to keep in mind, this is an example. This chart or this capacity test can be 10 people, 50 people, 1,000 people. But I just want to give you the concept so that you can digest it and you can start employing it. So you go to Lisa. Lisa gives you the same story as Steve and Carl. I don't have any money I can afford to lose right now. And it's important, if we're going to operate at a level of integrity, that you let people know up front that this investment is an investment where they may lose money. We have to be very transparent in our dealings, because how many of you have lent money out in the past with people not so transparent, and then you did not get repaid, and it left a bad taste in your mouth, and it left you sour and more apprehensive to make an investment? As a people, we cannot be non-transparent. We cannot be that dirty water, that murky water. We have to be as clear as glass, crystal clear in our business development, in our business dealings. We have to be crystal clear in bringing in an attorney in our business dealings. We have to be crystal clear in getting everything we do with other partners in writing to be transparent. So I want to say that. So this is your initial network, your initial capacity test. So what you found just by doing this quick capacity test, by broadcasting and colliding with people in your network, you discovered that your network can yield you what? 2,000 from Whitney, 2,000 from Lenore. You got $4,000 that you're able to pull out of your network. So when we go to the next slide of capacity testing, so 2 out of 5 of your folks, if you divide that up, that's 40%. 40%, that's $4,000 that you have in capacity from your network that will be allocated to that 10,000 that you need to raise from the 50,000 purchase of this property. So you know now you need what? You need to raise an additional 6,000 in order to get that $10,000 down payment or downstroke, so that you can get that bank loan to purchase the building for $50,000. And if you have any questions, by all means, message me. I love to answer your questions. If you're confused about anything, by all means, send us a message. I would love to respond and help walk you through it in greater detail. But let's look at the situation where you have those that have a wonderful network, a network of people with a lot of liquid, a lot of cash capacity, and just see how quickly you can get to your goal of $10,000, right? So we're going to go back to the same capacity test on my homemade slide here. So we're going to talk to Whitney, Steve, Carl, Lenore, and Lisa. And what do you know? When you broadcast and collide with them on this example, each and every one of them, they have $2,000. They got $2,000 that they can afford to lose. $2,000 they can afford to lose. Say it. They can afford to lose. We're being transparent. Let the church say transparency. And what do you know? What do you have? On the last slide of capacity testing, you got 5 out of 5 of people in your network that you broadcasted and collided with. They have 100% or $10,000. That's your $10,000 downstroke, your $10,000 capital raise equity injection in this purchase for $50,000. You've reached your goal. But you know what else could happen? All 5 could say, hey, I don't have it to lose. I don't have any money to lose. And then what does that do? That brings you to 0. So your capacity test now becomes either 5 out of 5 to help you raise the full 10,000, or 5 out of 5 that don't have any money to lose, and that puts you back at square one, $0. So what would you do in that situation? This is why it becomes so critical for you to build your network. For you to build your network, through that network, you build your net worth. Your network is your net worth. You start reaching out to other prospects in your network so that you can ultimately achieve your goal of raising that $10,000, or even better, ultimately reaching your goal of raising the entire 50. And then that way you don't have to even apply for a bank loan, because we all know the issues that we deal with in our community with applying for bank loans. Personally, I would rather build my network to the level where I don't have to apply for bank debt. I can raise it all on the streets of my community. This is Eric Soderberg, your brother Eric Soderberg, your brother Soderberg from the Soderberg School, coming to you live and direct from Chicago, Illinois. I want to thank you for tuning in to NNV News. Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. Follow us on social media at NNV News, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, National Network View. God bless you. Assalamu alaikum.